This episode is brought to you by Parma Token, a Crypto.com tracked token. Parma gives you access to exclusive community experiments and no team or pre-sale tokens. Parma is a deflationary coin with over 50% of its tokens burned at the launch and 1% burned on each transactional event. Visit parmatoken.com for more details on acquiring this awesome token. Link in the description below.
This my two Satoshis, who need 2 cents when they can get double from stacking Toshis, yeah.
It's your boy Crypto Blood, and welcome to another My Two Satoshis crypto news update. Man, I had to do this immediately because this, I think, really is a watershed moment in the crypto space. Not for a good reason, though. We got to take a look at what's going on just hot off the presses, literally about an hour ago. And this is why you're seeing the markets tank right now. In my opinion, we broke out of that channel. We had a huge rally starting on Sunday, which I missed. My trades, we missed it because the markets weren't open on the platform that I use, because I trade FX and cryptos on this particular broker, and literally 45 minutes too late. But anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. This is why we're seeing us kind of break to the downside out of that consolidation after that huge run up from Sunday, because of this news, in my opinion. And it's, again, a watershed moment. EU lawmakers set to tighten up on crypto transfers. This video is pretty much going to be all about what's going on, what decisions they made, and how that's going to affect us. I'm not surprised that the EU went out there and jumped out with these draconian regulations. The US, I've said for many years, they're going to be the last to make the real big moves. They got to watch and see what other Western nations end up doing, and then they'll make their big moves. But seeing EU jump out there with this type of regulation, to me, just sets the stage for potentially the US doing the same thing maybe in 3 to 5 years. And essentially what this is going to do for us, unfortunately, is set crazy regulations on even the smallest anonymous crypto transactions. And they have a plan to see unregulated crypto exchanges cut off from the system, from the fiat system. Again, we're going to go through this in detail today on this episode of My Two Satoshis. I really think we really got to watch this very closely, because this will affect us in the long run. This is setting the stage and the tone for future regulations in the US, in other countries. But you know, the EU is comprised of so many countries that it really affects a lot. Is it going to stop cryptos? No, not at all. But it will change, because unfortunately, guys, all of you watching this, you use crypto to off ramp to fiat and vice versa, to fiat onto crypto. So don't act like you just, live in this crypto world. A very, very small percentage of us in this space are truly cryptos only. I'm not even there. This is an important situation for us, and it will affect many of us. It really will. So we got to take a look at this. Again, this is why I think we're seeing the markets tank here. And I think we're going to go ahead and test that 43,000. Shoot, maybe by tomorrow from this news. We'll see. And one other thing, your boy Crypto Blood is finally famous. Not really, but I was cameoed on a new series that came out, I think, yesterday on Netflix called Trust No One. It is all about the Quadrica CX situation that happened a few years ago in Canada. I covered it, and they actually had a little snippet of me in this documentary on Netflix, so check it out. I'll try to remember to leave a link in the description of this video so you can check out Crypto Blood in there giving his 2 Satoshis. But that's what's coming up on today's episode of My Two Satoshis. Let's get it.
But before we start, if you guys find these types of videos informative, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and click that bell to receive more videos like this.
So before starting, we got to take a look at the technos really quickly, and I think this is why the market is reacting the way it is to the downside. This is my algo that I pretty much use to actively trade my portfolio. And as I stated, I did not catch this trade right here, unfortunately, that happened on Sunday. Markets weren't open for the broker that I use for my algorithm. Missed that. And after that big move up, we saw a lot of consolidation going on here for basically this whole week. But just about 2 or 3 hours ago, we saw us break out of that channel to the downside. And I think it kind of correlates with what's going on with the EU's decision to really make some, I think, very big mistakes when it comes to regulation in the crypto space. So we have broken to the downside out of this channel, and I ultimately think we are going to head back lower to where the pop happened on Sunday for both of these pairs, Ethereum and also the Bitcoin versus USDT. So that's where I think we're heading. I'm going to show you my normal non-algo technical chart. As you guys can see, the channel, we broke out of it. Very bullish move. Very bullish move. I mean, we're well above previous attempts to break out of that channel. So that was very bullish for me. And it really came down to the fact that equities were rallying too. Not sure why. And I think next week maybe that will kind of taper down as we get into April and we have another Fed interest rate hike. I think the markets will start to digest or make a better assessment of what's going on with this money. This cheap money is no longer going to be cheap. So I think you're going to start to see markets pull back a little bit. But in tandem, we've seen equities rally and of course cryptos rally. So I can extend this trend line out. And so this is probably where we'll bounce off of right here, 43,000 area in Bitcoin. And you know, we'll have to see from there. That's the marker you want to watch, that trend line, because at that point we'll see, you know, whether or not we're going to breach that to the downside and head back into the channel yet again. Hopefully not, but I'll be ready to make money either way. I'm short right now, and so hey, we'll see what happens. But that's the marker, that's the trend line you got to watch here. If you can replicate that on your charts, please do, because you need to see if we keep this section of the market right here, this trend line. If we can hold it, cool. If not, then we break back down and probably take a further leg lower toward $30,000 Bitcoin. Speaking of $30,000 Bitcoin, if you're looking to buy Bitcoin with no transactional fees, get over there to bityard.com. I have a link in the description below so that you can take advantage of that 0% transactional fees on a couple of service providers, Transact, Mercurio, and Ramp. You can get 0 transactional fees for your fiat to crypto on Ramp. All right, it is a registered company or exchange, I should say, in the United States, Australia, and Estonia. Very legit. Been rocking with them for many years now. So get over there, link in the description below. But let's take a look at what's going on here with the EU and their decision. I really want to step backwards here and show you guys an article out of Blockworks that really talks about, you know, this decision that they were going to be making on Thursday. All right, and this was from, I think, March 28th, but I just want to show you kind of leading up to the actual decision, what happened here. So on Monday, we saw this article published here on Blockworks. Several amendments within the EU's transfer of funds regulation are taking aim at the way crypto transactions from so-called unhosted wallets are handled. So what are unhosted wallets? Essentially, a wallet that you own that's not custody, that's not like a Coinbase or in one of these exchanges, Kraken or anything like that. This is a wallet that you own. Your keys. Your keys, right? We talk about not your keys, not your cheese. Well, this is a scenario where they're trying to go after or blacklist wallets you have control over your keys with. So that's important to understand. This is how far they're trying to go with this here, ladies and gents. Policymakers are also promising that for every crypto transfer from an unhosted wallet over 1,000 euro are reported to relevant authorities. Yikes, that is very low. That's a very low amount. And so what they're trying to do, the EU Parliament, they're trying to force this legislation that would force crypto exchanges to share details of their customers' anonymous transactions. And unhosted, again, would be something like your MetaMask, would be something like Atomic Wallet. All right, will be something like Edge Wallet. The list goes on and on. In addition to that, they want to make sure that they transfer and pass between these transactions. These financial institutions have to, and in this proposed bill at this point, this was on Monday, they want you to, or the exchange to, pass along the payer and recipient information, even when the recipient isn't a customer of that particular VASP. And even worse is the proposed provisions for new obligations on exchanges to collect, verify, and report information on non-customers using self-hosted wallets. For instance, one provision requires exchanges to not only collect personal data about wallet users who are not their customers, but to also verify the data's accuracy by allowing a transfer to one of their customers. Oh my God, this is This is no good, because essentially, like this guy said here, the consequence of this is that most crypto companies won't be able or willing to transact with unhosted wallets anymore in order to stay compliant. So, basically, you guys talk about, and I hear this all the time, you can't stop crypto. Well, damn, if I can't have crypto in wallets that I have my own keys to, basically they're going to shut off and ring fence all not your cheese, not your keys wallets. You're forced to participate. It is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. So I think this is really going to be a big setback, in my opinion, in the crypto markets. And we allowed it. Because we wanted to appease the regulators. We wanted to have more adoption at a faster pace, not have it be more organic. And these are the consequences for those actions. As a community, we should have been more diligent on not bending to these regulators, in these countries. So this article came out literally 7 hours ago, and I think the markets it's just really starting to hit the news wires. That's why you're seeing cryptos really take a dive down here, as you guys can see here. That's why we're seeing this leg down at this point in the markets. But this one out of Reuters talks about the two committees from the EU Parliament that have basically thrashed out cross-party compromises to be voted on. Crypto exchange Coinbase has warned the rules would usher in a surveillance regime that stifles innovation. And unfortunately, this tech can be used for good, but it also can be, as much as it can be used and leveraged for good, it can be used and leveraged for bad. And this is what we're seeing right before our eyes, ladies and gentlemen. So this $2.1 trillion crypto sector is subject to some patchy regulation across the world, but more specifically the EU right now. And so what happened today out of CoinDesk, as you guys can see, I'll leave a link in the description of this video. But what happened today is that they actually voted in favor of this controversial measure to outlaw anonymous crypto transactions. They did it, man. They went ahead and voted for the proposals. Basically, this is what they did to Russia is what they're doing to all of us. They're literally ring fencing us and cutting us off from the financial system. This is, you have to understand what's going on here, ladies and gentlemen. So it's so important. And I'll see you guys down in Miami. Hopefully you'll be at the Monerotopia conference. The privacy aspect is so important. That is one way we can combat and fight back against this. The €1,000 threshold, to me, is not that big of an issue, and it looks like they're going to do this. It's more about if they don't even allow any non-custodial wallets to interact with your off-ramps, your fiat off-ramp exchanges. That's the bigger issue, because a €1,000 threshold, you can just do $500 transactions and keep that under there and keep it under the radar. You can do an unlimited amount of those, right? So it's ways you can get around that. But the whole point of, hey, they're not allowing any wallets to deposit into their exchanges unless you've KYC'd it and then they know it's your wallet is insane. That part hasn't been passed yet, but that definitely could be next. That's what's in discussion. That was what was in discussion today, to stop those transfers being made to non-compliant crypto service providers, which includes those operating in the EU without authorization, and wallets, right? As I stated, the price of Bitcoin dropped about 2%, now even further once the vote came out. And let me know your thoughts about this. Is this something that the crypto markets can just, brush off? Let me know in the comments below. I don't think so. I'd love to know what you guys think about that. That's my 2 Satoshis for today. If you guys found this video informative, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and comment in the section below about what you feel about this draconian action by the EU. Will this metastasize across all of Western financial services or systems? I think so. Let me know in the comments below when you think the United States will do a move like this. Is it next month? Is it next year? 5 years? Comment in the section below. I'd love to know. It's your boy Crypto Blood, and that's my 2 Satoshis. I'm out of here. Holla!